So in this part of the video, we are going to look at how we can add interactive questions to any video we've created on Screencastify. So the benefit of doing that is if you want to ask some check-in questions or formative assessments within a video viewing experience for your students, this is a great way to do that. Now, I will say the only way that these interactive elements work is if you use the Screencastify watch page feature. And the watch page is a separate web page that's created for a Screencastify video that you've made. It gets rid of any ads and it's just purely the video that's on that page. But it's also where you can track views of the video, like I was just explaining in another part of the video, and then also where you can add interactive questions. So if you make a Screencastify video and you add interactive questions and then you give students the YouTube link, they won't have any interactive elements to it. It has to be the watch page link that you use here. Other things to know: if you're giving students the watch page link for them to view the video and then also to use that to respond to interactive questions, you'll need to toggle your settings here to where students sign in with their BCSE Google account or something like that, so that basically you don't have anonymous responses unless that's what you would like. So whenever I make a video on Screencastify, at the top of my page here, I have the watch page information. I can just copy and share that with my students, but by default, it is always set to where it's anonymous. So if I want to change this, I would click email address so that my students have to sign in with their BCSE Google account. And the benefit of that is that whenever they go and they answer my interactive questions, I can see what each student answered, so I have an idea of that. You can keep it anonymous if you would like. Maybe this is just no type of high stakes element to it, but you might want to toggle this to email address if you want to. So I already had that set up to where they have to sign in with their email address, but that's where I would change that. So if I scroll a little bit further down the page, this is where I have the option to add interactive questions. So if I click interactive questions, all right, it's going to show my video here. And on my teacher editing view, this is where I have all of these options here to make my video interactive for my students. So if I scroll a little bit further down the page, I see the timestamp here and I can toggle it to anywhere I would like. And I click this blue add a question button whenever I get to a point in the video where I would like to add a question. So if I click add question, here are the options that I have. I can change the timestamp if I need to. And I type in my question text. You do have some limitations in the type of questions you can ask here. It's not an abundant list of options. It is purely multiple choice. And you have to have at least 2 options. So you can do it true and false, either or. You can do 3 options or all 4. You can't add more than 4. Can't have less than 2. Obviously, so they have to pick something and not just have the answer given to them. All right. All right, so I indicate which answer is correct, and I'll click Save. All right, then I would just keep going through my video. Whenever I get to another point, I want to add another question, I can go through and do that again. Add in my question here and save. All right, so I've added in my questions, and whenever I am finished with adding in my interactive elements here, the share button at the top is my watch page link. So technically I could get back to my watch page link if I go back to my recordings and copy that watch page link there, but I can also just get to that here whenever I'm finished editing my interactive video questions. So what I'm going to do is click copy watch page link. I'm going to open this in another tab so you can see what it's like. This is another Google account that I have, my personal one. But as we can see here, and it does put little markers here so the students can visually see when a question is coming up. All right. And I already had signed in to watch this video, but I had it set up to where it's going to track my answers with my Google account right there. And I'll click play.
Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can install the screen recording and web recording extension in Google.
All right. So hopefully I would actually have covered this topic in this video before I inserted this question. For the sake of this example, I just put in a question, but it pops up with this alert here and I'll select the answer that I think is correct. So I'll do Chrome Web Store and submit. and then I would click continue, and then it resumes playing the video for me.
So Screencastify is a really great tool if you want to give your students demonstrations and tutorials on resources, but it's also really helpful.
So technically, I also did want to point out as well that if you try to skip ahead on an interactive video link, students can't. They have to watch the whole video. They can't skip ahead to other questions. They can't skip further along the video and have it submitted. They do have to answer the questions as they pop up. Otherwise, this alert won't go away. So if I look here, I'm just going to select my answer, and I'm actually going to select the wrong one there, and then it tells me right away if it was right or wrong. So again, it tells the students what's correct, what's not, and just continues. They don't get the chance to change their answer, but they do get immediate feedback there on how they did.
Give your students
continue,
video feedback,
and so there we go. Really so I can jump ahead after I've answered all of the questions.
I find this tool as helpful as others have.
All right. So it tells me my answers have all been done. I've answered all of the questions, and I'll do return to video. And then it just keeps me here on my regular viewing screen. So the students can watch the video over again, but if you notice here, it already has their answer selected, so they can't redo it. They can watch it again if they need to, just can't resubmit the questions. So now that we have done that, what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to Screencastify. And I kept this page open here where I had built those questions in my videos. But technically, I could click my recordings link up here, and I could go to my recordings and still get to that video. It's this one here, and then also click interactive questions and go through that whole process of looking at my questions again. I kept it open for the sake of this example. So I'm back here on my screen. I had my questions that I added in.
Hello and welcome.
And I'm going to move myself over here so you can see a little bit better. Add my questions over here. I can see them off to the side. This is where I shared the link. But if I click responses, now I can see how people responded. So I had my video set up to where I had to sign in with my Google account to watch it. So you can see my name here on how I did. This generates some data here on your overall score, your responses. And these are new features that are coming soon. They're not quite there yet, but you do get an overall look here on how your students did and how people did when they watched the video, and maybe some analytics on which questions were more frequently missed. So again, this is a really helpful option if you wanted to make your videos a little bit more interactive. Again, when students watch the video, they can answer the question one time. They don't get to redo it. It does give them immediate feedback on if the question was correct or wrong, and they can't skip past questions. They can jump to the end of the video after they've answered all the questions, but they can't skip to where they're just answering questions and not actually watching the content. So that is a really brief overview on how to use this tool. If you have some success with it, please share and let us know. We love to see how you guys are using this, and stay tuned for more Screencastify updates. Thank you.